Welcome to this edition of Best of the Best, where we interview the world's leaders in healthcare, politics, sports, and business while sharing their secrets to success. Now here's your host, Dr. J. Murray Hawkins.
I'm incredibly excited to interview my next guest. Unless you've been living on a deserted island, you've definitely heard of the iconic Les Brown. I could take the entire show to introduce him properly, but instead, I'll give you some highlights and get right to the interview. Les and his twin brother were raised by a single mom. He eventually got into public radio. He ran for election in the Ohio House of Representatives and won, was a host on PBS, was a member of the Peabody Awards Board of Jurors, is a recipient of the National Speakers Association Council of Peers Award for Excellence, and is also the recipient of the Toastmasters International Golden Gavel. He's a proud father of 9 children and 4 great-grandchildren. He is an author and the best motivational speaker I've ever had the pleasure of hearing. I've seen Les speak live over a dozen times, and boy, oh boy, he can bring it from the stage like no one else I know. And anytime I'm feeling a little down, I listen to one of his speeches. Now, God has gifted him with the ability to inspire millions of people around the world, including me. He has a gigantic heart, an infectious laugh, and is definitely the best of the best. I am honored that he is here today. Mr. Les Brown, welcome to Best of the Best.
Thank you so much. It's Jeffrey, it's a pleasure to be with you. I call you Jeffrey, the diabetes assassin, but that's another show. That's another conversation. You've been very helpful and a blessing to me. And I just want to say thank you.
Well,
it's great to be here with you.
Glad you're here, Les. So first thing I want to get into is, now you were elected into the House of Representatives. Now, what advice should you give to some people today right now about what's going on in Washington? There's so much polarization right now from Democrat, Republican. We went through a crazy election. Now it's wear a mask, don't wear a mask, vaccine, no vaccine. It seems like everything right now is like trying to polarize people instead of bringing us together. So what advice would you give to people out there that are struggling with what's happening right now in Washington?
Well, there's no question that we're getting confusing messages, but I think what the general public needs to do, number one, we most certainly should practice social distancing and listen to what the scientists are saying and follow their direction. They're saying mask. And the other thing is not lose sight of life, that life is still going on, and work on ourselves in this period where we are. My daughter, Dr. Ona Brown, she said gaps are from God. And so some people are just in the house and they're working from home, but there's some opportunity here in moments of silence that we can work on ourselves, that we can begin to look at what it is we want to do. How do we see ourselves past this, even if it's in the far distance, and make the radical changes that we need to make in the silence, in the moments that we have to spend with ourselves, number one, with our family members, and with our friends. It's an incredible time that we have the opportunity to turn the disadvantage of the coronavirus into an advantage for all of us, to use this as a period of transformation. Life is full of disruptions and transformation and decisions. And so we have to transform ourselves to honor and to accommodate this disruption unlike anything we've ever seen before, and make the decisions about our lives, how we're going to go forward. And decisions we make decisions, and our decisions make us. So we want to be very deliberate in the decisions that we make and how we show up.
Well said, sir. Now, another thing, you've got 9 children. So what advice can you give, parenting right now, as far as the role of having a great father figure in the family in today's environment, which is kind of crazy as well? I'm a father of a daughter. You're a father of 9 kids. Can't even imagine. Like, 1 kept us busy. Can't even imagine 9. So what kind of advice can you give to some fathers and parents out there right now to really help raise great leaders and individuals in today's society?
Well, the Lord said, be fruitful and multiply, and I took him seriously. So you got to pick up the pace. February the 17th, I just turned 76. I have a picture of my kids here. And the reason I have my children's picture up, I have 9 kids, and I have 15 grandchildren, 15 now,
Oh,
and
15. So
and
I
and
apologize. I said
5
4.
great
So.
grandsons. And the reason that I have their pictures is to remind me of living a life of a legend so I can leave a legacy.
Yeah.
That this is a time we want to be mindful of how we live our lives. This is a time we've gone from brick and mortar to click and order. That people who used to go to a job every day, they no longer have to do that. They can work from home. You don't have to leave your home at all. If you want food, groceries, whatever, you can call Instagram, or not Instagram, but Instacart, any type of other service agency that will show up and provide the service for you. So what I'm instilling in my children is that, one, you want to build mental resolve, because life will throw a lot of things at you that you'll never see coming. Life is very difficult. Think it not strange that you'll face the fiery furnaces of this world. You will, not you might. You will have tribulations. Forrest Gump had a point. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And that's all I got to say about that. The next thing is, never stop learning. If you're willing to learn, that's very important. See, most people are not willing to learn this new way of life, and no one can help you. But if you're willing to learn, no one can stop you. And I'm encouraging them to continue to learn, to upgrade their knowledge, their information. Robert Schuller said something that I really admire and really embrace. He said, either you expand or you are expandable. You are expendable. Expand or you are expendable. And the next thing is, practice OQP, only quality people. Surround yourself with people that uplift you, people that hold you accountable, people that inspire you. This is a time that you don't want to be around flakes. You want to be around people that's going in the direction of where you're going. The Academy Award winner Sidney Poitier said, when you go for a walk with someone, something happens without being spoken. He said, either you adjust to their pace or they adjust to your pace.
Mm-hmm.
Ask yourself, whose pace have you adjusted to?
Yeah.
So those are 3 things I think that I I really drive home to my children and my grandchildren, my great grandsons. They're going to hear the conversation as well. Mindset, that level of mental resiliency, continuously learning and upgrading your relationships.
That's great. Okay, so what about this, Les? What about someone who feels like they're stuck in their job right now? They're not happy. Like, what would you say to them that they need that courage to either find another job or that also courage maybe to start their own business they've been dreaming about for a long time, but they just feel stuck. They have that fear about taking that move. What kind of advice would you give to them?
I would say to them, one of the things that it's very important, live your life on your terms. They did a study, a lady, a hospice nurse, and she interviewed people and asked them what were their regrets. And number one was they didn't live their dreams. There are many people that's between a job and a dream.
Yeah.
And so what keeps them stuck on the job that's not them, where they overpaid and underworked, where they work just hard enough to keep from quitting, and they pay them just enough to stop from quitting, and it's a contract of mediocrity. So what's important is decide what you want and move in that direction. Learn what skills you need that will transition you out of where you are. Make up your mind. Don't go to your mind and ask, well, how will I do it? No, you get stuck there. Live from your heart, a heart-centered life. Where your heart is, there your treasure is also. Find out what your passion is and then find a way to monetize it. Find a way to create a living with it. I was born to speak, and this is what I do, and this is what I focus on. Your ability to take your superpower, that which you do naturally, that which you love. It's a habit that you love that other people notice that you might have taken for granted. And it's something that you love so much you can do it for nothing, but you do it so well that people will pay you to do it. And I say, don't just complain about your situation. Become an active force and do something about it because you can. The computer has made it possible for us to exercise a control over our lives that we've never had before, going from brick and mortar to click and order. It's a brand new day. All type of opportunities are out here, not only to create our own job and own company, but to hire other people as well.
That's awesome, Les. And what are your top three? I know you could probably give us 50 and be here for hours, but what would you say your top three success tips are just for life, like just normal people to have a successful, happy, fulfilled life?
Number one, work on your mind. Be ye not conformed to this world, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. It's an ongoing process. I was labeled educable mental retarded in the 5th grade and put back in the 4th grade and failed again when I was in the 8th grade. But I met a high school teacher who told me someone's opinion of me did not have to become my reality.
Yeah.
He said, you don't get in life what you want. He was quoting Earl Nightingale in The Strangest Secret. He said, you get in life what you are. Work on your mind. Number two, rob the cemetery of your gifts. Become a grave robber. And what I mean by that, Dr. Miles Monroe, who's a minister who said, rob the cemetery of your talents. I believe that all of us showed up with something that the world needs. But most people die at age 25 and don't get buried until they're 65.
Yeah.
And they take their gifts, their dreams, their abilities, and their talents with them. And I'm not a religious person, I'm a spiritual person. Religious people, they're afraid of going to hell. And spiritual people, they've been there. And hell is what you experience from my perspective when you die and you meet the person that you were supposed to become.
Yeah.
So live full, die empty, and give life everything that you have.
Excellent. Hey, and to kind of follow up to that one, let's kind of shift gears to the business people. So what would be like your top 2 or 3 success tips for business people to be as successful as they can in their chosen field of business as a business owner?
One of the things that's most important, having a spirit of gratitude. Many businesses have had the rug snatched out from under them.
Yeah.
Here's what we know. 8 out of 10 millionaires have been financially bankrupt.
Yeah.
Walt Disney filed bankruptcy 7 times, had 2 nervous breakdowns, but he came back. And I'll say to them, you have comeback power if you're among those that the coronavirus has impacted your business negatively. Number 2, assess where you are. And as you look into the future, hold a vision of that new elevated achievement level that you have for yourself and for your business. Your business comes out of you. How do you see your business 1 year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now? What radical change are you willing to make so that you can create what Warren Buffett called a sustainable competitive advantage and do market takeaways and keep yourself in this business world because it's more competitive than ever before. This is the era of what the late Peter Drucker calls the era of the 3 C's: accelerated change, overwhelming complexity, and tremendous competition. And the third thing is create relationship capital.
Mm-hmm.
Can't make it by yourself. Yeah. You want to find some trusted critics All of us have scotomas, blind spots,
Yeah.
things about ourselves that we don't know. And you want to surround yourself with people that will tell you some things that you don't know, that will allow you to upgrade your knowledge and your skills and change your behavior. You can't see the picture when you're in the frame. You can't read the label when you're locked in the box. So surrounding yourself with people that you can learn from, that you can grow from. If you're the smartest one in your group, you need to get a new group.
That's awesome. Hey Les, I really appreciate you being on right now today on the show. Now, how can people that want to get more of Les Brown, what's the best way for them to contact you and see what you're doing and keep up to date with everything and just stay connected with you?
I'm doing training. I'm training people how to become master communicators. Steve Jobs said that the storyteller is the most powerful person in the world. You have to tell the story about yourself, because people, when they look at you, they're asking three questions: who are you? What do you have? And why should I care? And you have to tell the story about your business. I encourage them to go to hungrytospeak.com, hungrytospeak.com. And we teach you methods and techniques of how to create a significant emotional event that will allow you to sell your products, to increase your customer base, to get repeat business, and to grow your revenue. hungrytospeak.com.
That's great. Well, Les, listen, I don't know if you know this or not, but you literally are the first guest on my new show, Best of the Best, and I couldn't have thought of somebody better than you to be on this show. I mean, it's really an honor. Again, been a big fan of yours for 30 years. You've helped me a lot, and I know that this interview will go out to hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions, and it's going to help touch them as well. So thanks again for coming on the show, and I look forward to talking to you soon about our diabetes relationship as well. So thanks again, Les. Have a phenomenal day. God bless.
Oh, thank you so much. And I'm so thankful to you, how you have helped me with my health and helping me kick diabetes butt. You're a bad dude, up it here, up it here. So thank you so much for inviting me. It's an honor. And thank you for answering the call on your life to bring light where there's a lot of darkness right now, where you're bringing hope in this program right here. Because when people have hope in the future, it gives them power in the present. Thank you, Jeffrey.
Thank you, Les. Appreciate it. Have an awesome day.
You too. Thank you.